Hey guys, what's going on? King Power 44 here with a huge Overwatch PTR patch. We've got a brand new assault maps and some changes to some characters that I think were very necessary. Blizzard has stepped up a lot with this. So to start off, we're going to be talking about the new assault map, Horizon Lunar Colony. So they say that this is built as the first step towards humanity's renewed exploration of space. The Horizon Lunar Colony's goal was to examine the effect of prolonged extraterrestrial habitation on human and ape alike. The scientists' research proved incredibly promising until suddenly all contact and communications with the base were lost. Now, of course, this is the base where Winston lived his younger life. I'm sure we're gonna find out all sorts of stuff regarding what happened with Winston while he was there and what happened on the Horizon Lunar Colony that caused all communication to be lost with the base. We're going to definitely check out the new map. It'll be on a video coming out really soon. I just wanted to make this one about the PTR patch notes, and then we'll explore the new map in the other video. Next up, we've got the legendary skins for Oni Genji and Officer Diva. They've both been added to the classic loot boxes. Now, if you remember, to obtain these skins, you had to play Heroes of the Storm, and there was a bit of an outrage with the community saying that some people didn't have access to computers. They played on PS4, so it really wasn't fair for them because they couldn't obtain the skins. Now you can. They are back in the classic loot box, which unfortunately for players who already have the skins are 2 more skins that you might get in the classic loot boxes. Next up, we have some cool changes to the custom games and game browsers. We have players being able to mess with gravity and projectile gravity. You can also mess with the knockback magnitude for both abilities and weapons that do have that effect. And now the jump height can, of course, be modified as well. But here's the juicy stuff. We're moving into the hero updates. First off, Mccree is getting buffed. His Deadeye targets now begin locking on after 0.2 seconds instead of 0.8 seconds. And his damage accumulated over the first 1 second increased from 20 to 80. The developer comment here is that Mccree's ultimate can deal a lot of damage if it has a lot of time to build up, but it was often too difficult to get even a small amount of damage out before being stopped or killed. I agree with this 100%. I don't play Mccree personally a lot, but a lot of people that I play with play him, and they say the same thing. His ult is pretty much useless if you don't have the perfect situation. So these changes make it more flexible and powerful. Mccree's ultimate might do a little bit more than just scatter the enemy team. Another offense hero that did need a nice buff was Reaper, and he's getting it here. His new passive, the Reaping, the older one, had health orbs. You consume them after death and you gained health back after getting kills, not dying. But now his new Reaping passive lets him regain 20% of all damage done to heroes as health. So their comment here is that Reaper's old healing passive was useful if you could kill a bunch of enemies in a row, which is very true. I think when Overwatch first came out, I was saying to myself that Reaper is one of the characters that once he gets on a killing rampage, it really builds up because he's gaining so much life back. But a problem that I found was once you couldn't kill anyone, Reaper's passive wasn't really useful, especially if the situation was already in your favor, so there was only 1 or 2 enemies and your health was kind of low. Now, they go over this in the developer comments as well, so I definitely agree with this. And his new passive lets him get immediate benefit from it, especially when fighting tank heroes, which tends to be larger targets that deal lower damage. This is what Reaper was made for. He was made to counter tanks, and this is going to help him out a ton, especially versus Roadhog. Speaking of Roadhog, we have some changes to him as well. I believe he's getting a little bit of a nerf to his damage, a buff to his head hitbox, and a change to his chain hook. I'll start with the chain hook. Targets are now pulled directly in front of Roadhog rather than straight to him, except in cases where Roadhog drastically rotates. So he can still pull you like off the map the way he used to. Hook targets are now released if they leave Roadhog's line of sight before being pulled. And line of sight checks, which detect that the target should be initially hit by the hook, are now done from Roadhog's position rather than the hook's position, which is how it should be since his hook isn't heat seeking. Hopefully the hook feels more consistent for people who actually play Roadhog, but more reasonable to the people that he hooks, as they can't be hooked or pulled around corners anymore. This should have been done way before, but I'm glad they're really taking time to deal with his hook because it needs to be fixed. Next up, Roadhog's head hitbox size has been reduced by 20%. So much like Orisa, Roadhog's head hitbox was actually pretty big. So reducing it to 20% is a good idea, I feel. And then lastly, his scrap gun. The bullet damage has been decreased by 33%, the fire rate was increased by 30%, and the clip size has been increased from 4 to 5. So this is very interesting. It's not really a nerf, more of a balance, because while his bullets are doing less damage, his fire rate is faster by 30%, and his clip size has been increased a whole nother shot. So like I said before, I agree with the comments that the developers made here. Roadhog's head was abnormally large compared to similarly sized characters like Reinhardt, for example, so we're reducing its size to increase his survivability. The scrap gun change reduces the power of his hook combo and alternate fire burst damage potential, while keeping his damage per second roughly the same. And last but not least, some quick user interface updates. A quick summary of each player's most played heroes is now available by highlighting the player in the group section of the social menu. All modes and all competitive seasons options have been added to the career profile. The damage done statistic has been replaced with hero damage done in multiple locations. New barrier damage done statistic has been added to the statistics section of the career profile. Averages are also now calculated in 10-minute slices rather than the number of games played, and the rate this match option no longer appears at the end of a match. There are also some bug fixes that we're not going to go over. I will leave a link to the patch notes for patch 1.12. in the description below. I'll also leave a link to the video where we go over the new map once that's out. But that's pretty much it for the new Overwatch PTR patch. Again, this is patch 1.12. Hopefully everything works out great and it all comes to live. I think Reaper's changes were really good, Roadhog's changes were really good, and Mccree's ultimate might not be as useless as it is right now. In the comments below, let me know what you think of the new patch notes. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, guys. I'm KingPower44, and I'm out of here.